everybody. I'm Meso.
And I'm Eljay.
And recording live from Brickfair Virginia, this is Knack and Jay. How's everybody doing this fine, what day is it?
I don't know.
Is it Thursday? Okay, Thursday. How's everybody doing this fine Thursday?
Tuesdays.
Mondays are my favorite.
What are you, anti-Garfield?
I'm tired. I got like 3 hours of sleep.
How do you always do this? Listen, I had a headache yesterday. I was exhausted. I was somehow trying to sleep through all the noise you were doing.
You mean when the smoke alarm went off?
I didn't hear
2 a.m.?
that. I did not hear that. All I heard a little bit of crystallized. I heard you screaming because there was a moth. I did not hear a fire alarm.
I didn't scream because there was a moth. I ran around like a chicken with my head cut off for 10 minutes because there was a moth.
Oh, yeah. Same
I don't like
thing.
moths. They're not great. You know what else isn't great? Bohrok. They're scary.
Amazing. Just a stellar friggin' segue. You could make wield a device out of that segue.
There you go. So we're here to celebrate the 20th anniversary of everybody's favorite, or maybe not, Bionicle year, 2002. Who likes 2002? You like Bohrok? You like Bohrok Va? I like the Bohrok Va.
No, the Taraga were better.
The Bohrok Va were better.
No, they are not.
They were great.
No.
Their feet could
Yeah,
move out.
Their feet could move out, and they could sit. You know what else could sit? A Taraga can sit. And you have more pieces in a Taraga than you do a Bohrok Va, because the Bohrok Va have the gosh dang Victorin feet.
But the Bohrok Va, you can't do the whole, the flip thing.
So here's how this is going to work. Obviously, now if we're going to just talk a little bit about 2002, talk a little bit about the development, its place in LEGO history, Bionicle history, and 45 minutes from now, we're going to go ahead and start a Q&A segment. So if you guys have any questions, then feel free to ask them when we get to that point. If you ask a question, feel free to come on up and get a comic book from Bionicle. There's also a LEGO magazine in there, which you're more than welcome to. But you can just pick one up. There's a slew of them from various years. And afterwards, there will also be some more comic books, courtesy of Alan Amara. And you can come up and grab one of those as well.
And the magazine has Galador on the cover.
Yes.
If anyone cares. I'm just saying. It's like the grand prize.
It's also 20 years since Galador released. In fact, August 24th, I want to say, is the day Galador ended. That's the release date of the last episode of Galador.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Why aren't we doing this to celebrate Galador then?
Is this a Galador podcast?
It could be.
Listen, it's not our responsibility to do the Galador stuff. Those are other people. They do the Galador stuff.
I mean, I like variety. I like Galador.
All right. Well, in any case, let's go ahead and get started talking about Bionicle 2002.
So I think my favorite thing about Bionicle 2002 is that I barely remember it.
This is already off to a good start.
It just... What happens in 2002, Eljay?
What do you mean, what happens in 2002?
I remember a lot of stuff in 2002 that didn't end up mattering all that much in the grand scheme of things.
Okay.
I'm going to front load this with controversy. Defend the Exo-Toa to me.
LEGO had to sell sets. Defense made. No, so, okay. When it comes to 2002, 2002 had a lot going for it. So Bionicle, it started in 01, it becomes wildly successful. LEGO was like, yes, all right, we spent too much time working on Slicers, too much time working on Robo-Riders, now let's get to the meat and potatoes. So they released they released Bionicle, it's a big success, and 2002, I have heard, is where it actually peaked in sales. It peaked twice. It was once in 2002, and then once in 2006, but I don't recall the source on that.
Eljay, retroactively, only once is its peak.
Okay. You ever seen, like, a mountain range?
Yes.
You know how there are, like, multiple really tall mountains?
Right.
Yeah, it's like that.
Okay, but which was the tallest mountain? Because that's the peak.
That I'm not sure. LEGO hasn't told us. Listen, okay, it went twice.
So it went whoop, whoop.
Maybe, yes.
All right.
Yes, exactly like that. Anyway, 2002 was very popular. The Bohrok were very popular. They sold remarkably well from all reports. And even to be in like New York City. What is it, Times Square?
I remember this. Was it like a big billboard?
Mm-hmm. It was like an animated billboard. It said Bionicle and had Bohrok on it. But it was very popular. Narratively, 2002 starts right after 2001 ends. The Toamata had beaten Pterodax, and they're kind of just chilling, cracking open some cold ones, and then everything starts shaking, and Kapura shows up, and he's like, hey guys, I'm going to say one word, and that's going to be my character, which is going to be thrown away from Manon. And he says Bohrok, and he introduces a threat. The Toa, they just take off, and they find him in Takoro. A bunch of Bohrok just rampaging through everything. And
when you say it starts right after, you mean like seconds after?
You remember when in Manog they teleport up?
No, I remember. I'm like just reconfirming. It's like seconds. It's right there.
Minutes after that.
That's funny.
Because we see Takua watch them wake up.
Right.
So it's minutes after the end of 2001, and they're introduced to the Bohrok right away. They're just tearing down friggin' everything. It's terrible. It's awful.
I keep forgetting that it's Takua's fault.
It's not Takua's fault.
But it is, though.
No, it's not.
He woke them.
No, he didn't wake them. He saw them wake up.
It's his fault.
No, it's not.
Don't they work? They're robots, right? They have like motion proximity alarm sensors?
No.
And like he walked in front, it was like bleep, bloop, bleep.
No. This isn't an ADT alarm. These are vacuum cleaners for our entire, like, friggin' island. It's a tropical island vacuum cleaner.
More or less.
Which I guess is a type of robot, but okay.
In 10 years, our Roomba is going to be Bohrok.
A potential... Sure.
I'm just saying.
Sure.
Like, AA batteries are going to evolve into Krana in 10 years. We're going to have, like, organic substances powering our devices.
I hate everything you just said. I do not want to think about squishy AA batteries.
Alright.
Bottom line, the beginning of 2002 really set the stage. It really upped the ante. Oh, wait, no, I gotta finish my point about Takua. He did not wake them up. Makuta woke them up, and Takua was just there watching it happen. He's like, wow, these guys seem kind of familiar. Man, I really miss my friend Larry. Man, I wonder how Larry's doing right now. And then friggin' Larry's waking up.
That's a likely story. That sounds like wrong place, wrong time. I'm just saying, if Takua went to court, that would not hold up in a court of law.
Good thing there are no courts of law on Matanui.
Is that confirmed? Did Gren Farshdi confirm that, Eljay?
You want to know what the court of law on Matanui is in 2002?
What is it?
It's, hey, we don't like you. Turaga, banish him. And they did. Literally, Takua got banished from Takoro because he was weird and he wouldn't do any work. So they kicked him out. I
do forget about that from time to time.
They kicked him out and they kicked someone else out. Oh, they kicked Akmu out, but that was for a better reason. They kicked Akmu out because he tried to get everyone sick. He gave everyone Bionicle COVID.
That is, yeah, that did happen. I forget about that sometimes.
Exactly. So, but yeah, 2002 starts. We see the Bohrok. There are 6 of them. There's one that has fire, one that has eyes, all the usuals up until you get to the green one. And then they become the black sheep of the family, despite being green, because they don't have air. They're not trying to like blow the trees down or get rid of the little piggies. They're not even trying to suck up the dirt or the grass. They melt things. They just melt everything.
I think the funniest thing about the Bohrok to me is how they tried to give them like personality. In like the little blurbs, they'd be like, oh, this Bohrok is hot-tempered. This Bohrok is, I don't know, patient. Like that never once came across.
I'm trying to see if he talks about it here.
It probably does.
No, not in this comic, but it definitely does.
The first one. Where's the first one?
I don't have the first one here.
You don't have the first comic?
I have it for giveaways.
Why?
I don't know if it's in this pile.
So you have a Galador magazine, but you don't have the first 2002 comic for the Q&A?
I have the prizes for tomorrow.
Someone didn't come prepared.
You didn't even read the books before we came here. You read the comics an hour and a half ago.
That's not true. I read them an hour ago.
Oh my gosh. You want to talk to me about being prepared? Do you even know? Okay, you know what? What is the nickname for the Parak Va?
Rockies.
Does anyone else know? At the back. Goat dog, that's correct.
What?
Goat dog.
Goat's dog?
Yeah, because they'd send them out as scouts. Check things out.
Bionicle was weird.
Oh my gosh. You're friggin' weird. Coming up here, we're supposed to be, listen, the entire premise of Knack and Jay is that we're streaming live from a golden beach. We're just on Mountain Dew, we're just chilling. I look the part. You're wearing a skull.
I am not wearing a
Your
skull.
Hawaiian shirt has a skeleton on it.
I am not wearing a skull, I'm wearing tin.
Okay. All right.
So anyway, the Bohrok were pretty cool.
Yes, so the Bohrok are fantastic sets. They are the culmination of function, in my opinion. Because you have a Bohrok, you have a function where it like shoots the head out, which has another function in that where you can shoot the piranha out in doing that. You can knock masks off with this function. It retracts back thanks to a rubber band. And then on top of all that, it rolls up into a ball. If it was made out of rubber, that would be the best-selling toy in the world.
True, like the Bohrok just turned into bouncy balls. You're like, bloop.
That'd be amazing. But no, the actual design work of the Bohrok are really impressive, though I never understood why they were called bug-like. They don't look like bugs to me.
I mean, in the Bionicle world, they kind of do. Like,
Do they really, though? Bionicle has normal-looking bugs.
well, I just mean like, you know, there's like roly-polies in real life.
You mean
That's
kill
kind of-
bugs?
Roly-polies.
Kill bugs.
Whatever. They're kind of the allegory that I always saw. You know, they roll up and it's just like that. I don't know, it makes sense to me.
Okay.
But they were only called bugs in the prototype video, right? They were never, were they called bugs in story?
They, I don't know about in the story, but in like promotional material, they were called bug-like.
Whatever. Which was your favorite function
Ooh,
out of the three?
Oh, out of the three, it was definitely the head shooting forward, so you can like knock masks off of people. I really liked that one a lot.
So I'll be a contrarian. My favorite function was the canisters. Being able to hang them.
I forgot about that.
Having like actual product integration is a thing of like the bygone era, because now you look at Lego, even the recent construction, they're just boxes, they're just bags, boring. You know, I miss the days when the canisters actually did something.
Now listen, that is only a means to get the product in your hand. Like your computer is a game box now, because all games are digital. And
You sound
don't
like an
actually-
old man.
You don't actually own any of your games anymore.
Your computer's a game box now.
Bungie takes away all of what you paid for.
LJ Zonta 2022.
It's like if you bought a Bohrok in 2022, Lego would be like, that's really cool, or we want it back now. No, we're not giving you the money back. Thank you.
Look, I'm just saying I like it when the canister's integrated with the product.
I
It was
agree.
neat. It made me feel like I got more value for my money. You know, back when I thought $7 was expensive for a Lego set.
Which is funny, because that's like pocket change. That was the whole idea.
Yep, shout out to the raised prices. $150 Ninjago Dragon? Let's go!
You know how many Bionicle sets were $150? Exactly none of them.
Toa Motonui on the secondhand market?
Nah, you're talking about just the mask.
Yeah, basically. We're lucky if that.
Yeah.
But no, the Bohrok were probably my favorite villains from the early days of Bionicle, just in terms of aesthetic. The Rahi, I mean, they were cool, but they were also expensive. I never really got too
Yeah,
many
that's
of them, and they were kind of forgettable in story. I like, I don't know, I just like the Bohrok a lot.
I don't think the Bohrok were... Oh wait, which were forgettable? Bohrok?
The Rahi,
The Rahi?
yeah. Some of them were. I don't remember Nui Rama much.
Nui Rama?
Yes.
You don't remember the Nui Rama?
Not really.
Like from Manog?
Or the Nui Jaga.
Okay.
Just in comparison, the Bohrok were like very iconic.
I suppose, I mean, yes, they were very iconic. But I don't know if that speaks poorly to the Rahi. It just speaks very well to the Bohrok.
That's true.
They're very, very impressive. The Bohrok Va, I think, were not the best. They were not the best follow-up to the Turaga.
Yes, they were.
No, they were not.
They were.
No,
They're better.
they're not better. You have less independent modes of articulation.
Okay, can I get a show of hands? Who prefers the Bohrok Va to the Turaga?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Who prefers the Turaga to the Bohrok Va?
Yep.
All right, but Bohrok Va win.
But no, they don't.
There's no proof. We're not recording the audience.
Gosh dang it. No. No, everyone that was here saw what happened. Listen, recorded audience, know the truth.
Yeah, no, it was a good year. I liked the Bohrok and their role in the story a lot. The Bohrok Va were. Why did they exist?
So the Bohrok Va, where so if a Bohrok loses its chrono,
Right.
then a Bohrok Va's job is to find that Bohrok and give it a new Krana.
Right.
The Bohrok Va did not need Krana to function.
Right.
They just carried them around and gave them to Bohrok if they needed them.
So what are they?
They're robots.
Who built them?
The great beings.
Why?
To give the Bohrok Krana if they lost them.
So why build a secondary species just to like give Bohrok Krana? Why not just build more Bohrok? Or
Because
like
the
build more
Bohrok still
Matoran?
need Krana to function.
Just make like Krana carrying Bohrok. You could probably
That's what the Va are!
you could fit more Krana into a Bohrok than you could a Bohrok Va.
Okay,
All I'm
so
saying.
if the Bohrok, but then it takes the Bohrok away from their job. They're trying to destroy everything that you know and love.
So why is like carrying and destroying? Why can't they combine?
Because unfortunately, that would make it very redundant.
Just have like a flamethrower, right? And then a backpack. And the Bohrok walks along and it
Okay.
carries the Krana in the backpack while it's like burning up all the leaves.
When the Bohrok loses its Krana, how is it going to get the new Krana into its head?
I mean, the Krana are alive, right?
They are minorly sentient and they are organic.
Minorly tie the backpack so the Krana can like push it open and like hop.
They can't move
Over
they,
the
they
Bohrok.
pulsate. It's like a beating heart.
They can like pulsate
They don't have
their way.
legs.
They can crawl.
No, they can't. They don't have arms.
They can crawl.
No, you're thinking of Krana,
A
genius.
snake can crawl and it doesn't have arms.
Damn it.
I'm just saying.
Conversation is friggin' over. Let's move on. I hate it. I hate everything. Okay, there were too many Krana.
I literally don't even remember like the first one.
Okay.
If you asked me to name you a Krana type, I don't think I could do it.
No. I'm not talking about simply the fact that there were 8 Krana, which there was no good reason for there to be 8 Krana. There were 6 Bohrok.
Right.
Why are there 8 different types? But beyond that, there are 12 different colors.
There were 8 different types.
Yes.
I don't even remember. What are they? You're the Bionicle lore expert.
Listen, I remember Krana Za and Krana Za.
You said that. Wait, Krana Za and Krana Za.
Yeah, XA and ZA. I'm serious.
Bionicle's actually bad, guys.
Just wait till you get to the Krana Vo and the Krata Vo.
So we have. Wait, what?
I think there was a Krana Yo as well.
Krana Yo! Everybody! So we have the Krana Za, the Krana Za, the Krana Vo, which are all separate from the
I think
Bohrok,
there's a Krana Vo.
which are all
Check.
separate from the Bohrok Va. So there's
easy.
Za Za,
Oh, beautiful.
Va,
Thank you.
Vo.
Thank you.
Oh, a convenient sheet of paper just
Okay,
appeared.
excellent. So there's Krana Za, XA, Vu, Yo, Su, Za, ZA, Ja, Bo, and
Krana Ja.
let me see, Vu. Wait, no, I already said Vu. Is that Lu?
Krana Lu. What is this?
No, I think I'm wrong. But yeah, so there were 8 different Krana types, and there were 12 colors. It's 96 Krana you would have to collect in 2002.
That's really weird.
Yeah, and what all you have to collect in only a couple of days.
Oh, that's a teaser.
They already know it's on the schedule.
Oh, okay. Like you're doing a Krana scavenger hunt.
Yes, we're doing a Krana scavenger hunt. There are 96 Krana. They're going to be spread friggin' everywhere. It's going to be a lot of work.
Bold approach, Eljay. I like it.
Absolutely.
Now, so you're saying there's a Krana Lu.
No, I think I might be wrong about that.
Where's the Krana Wu?
You know, they still sell mask packs, the Krana packs on eBay.
Really?
20, 40,
Like unopened?
yes,
How much were they?
like $30 a pack, $40 a pack.
That's a
Very
steal.
expensive.
Mine now, thank you.
Yeah, they were these. So this is a Krana pack. Before Lego realized, so this is before Lego tried to sell them in bags where you can easily discern their shape. Okay, so actually there were 2 modes of release. They came in bags. European. Thank you. In Europe, they came in bags. In the United States, they came in boxes. And Lego would eventually realize that boxes were the better way to do blind bags. because if you have very specialized pieces that make it easy to figure out what's in the blind box / bag, then people can just get what they want. They don't need to buy into the random chance.
Lego was ahead of their time by being behind their time.
And now they've figured out, it's like, all right, let's go back to boxes.
They've gone full circle, and it only took 20 years.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, in these packs, and obviously this is a sequel to the mask pack, you have 2 Kanohi masks and 3 Krana. So hypothetically speaking, if you bought a lot of these, then you could get a lot of Krana and decrease the amount of Krana you actually need to get. The masks in these it's 2 different types of 2001 masks. You have a silver set of the Toamata masks, and you have a gold set of the Toamata masks. The cool thing is that the silver and gold are exclusive to these packs, to the point where I think Bricklink calls it like Bionicle Gold or Bionicle Silver.
Bionicle Gold!
And it matches nothing else in Lego's catalog.
Wow.
And it doesn't even match the coloration of most of the promotional material. The silver does.
That's really weird.
Does not.
That's really weird, Eljay.
Yes.
Why? Why do they do that?
I have no idea. I wasn't in the development room.
But I thought you're the Bionicle guy.
Oh my gosh. So, yeah. These are fascinating. I would not personally say that these were better value than the 2001 mask packs, because in the mask packs, you got 6 different types of mask.
Yeah, no.
Or wait. You got 12 different types of mask in 12 different types of colors. So you had Toamata masks and you had the Shrog masks. So you had a lot more variety than you got in these.
Well, I just think it's funny that they still had masks in the Krana packs, just because they probably knew no one was going to care about the Krana as much. Maybe that's a bold opinion. I don't think it is.
But also we needed those masks, like those mask recolors in 2001. The silver masks for dormant ones as a Toamata, or like trying to collect them. And we needed the gold ones because they had gold for that year.
That's fair, I guess.
So it had to happen, and I'm glad it did.
I just think it's funny how, like, over the years, the collectibles, like, degraded. You know? So, like, we went from 6 masks. Wait, how many masks were in a pack?
So, in a 2001 pack?
Yes.
I think, is it 3? 3?
Okay, so
yeah,
we went
so
from 3 masks to 2 masks and some Krana to Krata to discs to Rotuka, and then we all ended on the squids. I, for one, wanted a Midak Skyblaster pack.
You did get one.
Wait, what?
Zamor spheres.
No, I specifically needed the Midak pack. I needed multiple silver spheres, Eljay.
Which you could get in the Zamor pack.
But it has gold. I don't want gold. It has to be silver.
You're starting to sound like a Star Wars fan.
It
has to be silver. It has to be gray.
Where's my clone commander, Billy Bob Fred Jones? I don't know.
Well, you see, we were going to release that in a UCS set, but we decided you like the calendar more. You can have it in that.
There you go. We love Star Wars fans. We're just joking.
But, yeah, it was a questionable choice. I agree. It was kind of strange, but I don't know. It made sense at the time, I think, and even now it kind of makes sense because you get a lot of Krana and you get the 2 most important mask colors for the year. But after this, I think, in my opinion, this was the last time that the Bionicle collectibles were like really, really good.
Yeah.
Like you had a lot of extreme value because in 2003 it was Krana Kal, and it was the protodermic Toa Nuva masks. And they really just only gave you Liwa Nuvas, and it jacked up the secondhand market for everyone else's.
I mean, that's where the white metal Chronicle started, right? In 2003?
No, I don't believe. Well, that's where they started, but they didn't come in the mask packs.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, they came in sets.
That's fair enough.
Yeah. So, yeah,
Krana were cool, not my favorite. They're kind of weird, but then again, so are the Nuva masks.
Yeah.
Nuva masks came out in 2002.
The Nuva masks?
Right? The Nuva, not the Nuva mask packs, but the Nuva. They came out in 2002.
Yes, the Nuva did come out in 2002.
Can we talk about the Toa Nuva?
Yeah.
Everyone's favorite freaks of nature.
Yes, no, that's probably a good idea because I keep forgetting, well, like 2002, when I think 2002, I think, yes, Bohrok. Which is funny because like 2 comics came out in 2002 that featured the Toa Nuva. So they're kind of a big deal, but I remember them most from 2003, even though 2003 it had no Toa,
Yeah,
except
so
for Takanuva.
in my very thorough research for BIONICLE 2002 that I
Exactly 10 minutes of reading these comics.
more like 8. So why did they end with that last comic that was so weird of a place to end?
What do you mean?
It was like at the start of a new story arc. Divided We Fall. Like, are you sure that came out in 2002?
Are you sure it came out in 2002? Who do you think you're talking to? Where is? I don't think I have it here.
No, of course you don't, because you didn't prepare.
You're about to get smacked by one of these comics. Yes, so no, it actually made perfect sense. It wasn't the beginning. It was the beginning and the end. So it was the end of the previous story arc, and it sets up the next year, the next first half of the year.
I guess, but like, I thought it would be better to end on a dramatic pose. Then it was like, okay, we are the Toa Nuva, all is well, and now we're fighting.
It did end with a dramatic pose. The dramatic pose of Kopaka-Nuva falling to his demise. That's fairly dramatic. The comic artist had to pose him.
in a technical sense, yes, you are right.
Yeah,
that is true. I don't know, it was a weird choice. But the comics were good. Their art was better than I remember there being.
I think it made perfect sense because you had to conclude what was going on before. You had to introduce the Toa Nuva and some of their new abilities, kind of show off what they're about. You have to transition from 2002, the end of which had them just kind of standing in a field, bring them back, give them a reason to split up again, and bring them back to their home villages. Which is what the end comic did. And then it started, because it came out in like November, December, it started the next story arc.
I have a counterpoint. Nobody cares because the Nuva are ugly.
Okay.
They are next level bad.
Yes, let's go ahead and talk, and this will be in this comic. Let's talk a little bit about the Toa Nuva. I am biased. I like the Toa Mata designs more. I do not like the Toa Nuva designs quite as much. They're bulkier, they introduce silver, the Miru Nuva is an atrocity.
I would like another show of hands. Who, if anyone, prefers the Nuva to the Mata?
That is
With
3 hands.
Impressive.
Interesting.
That is more than I thought there would be.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily even think that they're the worst designs. BIONICLE has had uglier sets, like the Toa Inika.
I would rather the Anika than the Nuva.
No.
Yes.
No. The Toa Inika have hideous designs.
The Nuva have worse.
They have claws on their feet.
Paul Hodges' claws in his hand.
Okay, they're climbing claws. They're tools.
They're still claws.
Oh my gosh. Listen, I do appreciate the Nuva for this. They do look like evolutions of the Toa Mata.
Do they?
Yes, they use a lot of the same components. They have the same color schemes. The masks do carry over design similarities from the original Mata masks.
Do they?
Yes.
Do they really? What similarities does the Kakama have?
There are exceptions. There are exceptions to the rule.
What similarities does the How have?
It has the hole in the center. It has some.
Oh wow, the hole in the center.
It has
wow,
that
that's a How-specific feature right there. Name me another BIONICLE mask that has a hole in the center.
So I do really appreciate the Toa Nuva for the dual functionality of their tools.
Yeah, it's alright. I'll give it that.
I think that was a really fun inclusion on these. Tahu Nuva had his lava swords. They became a surfboard, which only makes logical sense. Gali Nuva had twin axes, which I'm not a big fan of, because why does she have axes? Leela had axes. Why does he now have swords? How does one axe transform into 2 swords? That doesn't make any sense. But you had 2 axes, which of course turn into fins, which again, logical sense. Liwa has his 2 swords, which you can finagle into glider wings.
They're really bad.
That was not my favorite of the functions, sadly enough. Kopaka has skis. He has like a skiing pole that turns into skis, which of course makes logical sense. Ohatu has a kickball. He has his claws, which turn into a kickball, which is a nice evolution. And then Onua, who I'm sure they looked at and went, this guy's hands are claws. What? How do you evolve claws? How do you evolve a dirt-digging tool set into something new? I know, chainsaws. Let's go ahead and make him a walking tank, but he can also whip those suckers off of his feet and chop down Liwahi. That's a great idea.
Are you being sarcastic? Because I think it is a great idea. I love chainsaw Onua.
Okay, why would anyone who lives underground need chainsaws?
I guarantee you the chainsaws are probably more effective than the claws.
For doing what?
For digging through dirt.
Have you dug through dirt with a chainsaw?
This is a robotic world, Eljay.
Okay, no, they are robots living in a natural world. That's the whole appeal.
These are beefy, thick protodermis chainsaws.
Yes.
They can rev through anything.
Okay, they're not practical for digging through the ground.
Look, okay, the chainsaw moves like this, right? It goes like around on like a loop,
yes,
right?
Yes.
It would take the dirt and scoop it back. All right? It would like rip it, scoop.
Okay,
Touchcraft, Tyler, touchcraft.
not technically wrong, unfortunately. I hate it, but you're not technically wrong.
Also, I want to go back to something you said about Pohatu's kickball.
Oh, great, here we go.
That is not a kickball.
Oh my god.
That is not a ball.
It functions as a kickball.
It's
I
not
know
a ball.
it's comprised of spikes, but it is a kickball.
It's weird. What is it? Like
You're weird.
I mean, if the shirt fits.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I get it. It's not a perfectly spherical ball, but
If he kicked that, it would hurt his feet.
okay, he's wearing foot extensions. He has like steel-toe
He's wearing
boots.
foot extension.
He's equipped. Of everyone to kick that, he's the most prepared for it.
Oh, foot extensions.
Okay.
That's almost as bad as when you said Rudaka was wearing heeled boots.
No, I said hooked boots. That's
Hooked
because
boots.
I forgot the word for heels. Yo, shut the front door, man.
I don't know, I hate the Nuva with a passion. I don't think there's a single thing about them that I like besides Onua's chainsaws and Tahu's like surfboard.
I appreciate them. I appreciate them for what they are. I appreciate them for their continuation of design, but I do have a strong preference for the Toamata.
They introduced the Silver Plague, and for that they must die.
Okay. Wonderful.
I'm serious. Burn
Okay.
the sets.
Listen, it was going to be anyone. If
It wasn't going to be. It was fine.
You had to show that they were like more advanced.
Did you have to do it with silver?
Weapons, yes, because that shows. Because like the whole idea behind BIONICLE 2001 was they were robots in a natural world, right?
Right.
They were out of their element.
Right.
So now, they were colored like their world. So
Right.
you had Liwa, who was very green in the jungle, Tahu, who was very red and orange around fire. Well, now they've been improved. They got dunked in a bunch of silver water, and they came out chunky.
Chunky.
You had to show the improvements.
That you could show them chunky without silver blocks on their chests.
But now they look more.
Chunky.
Yes, they do look. Yes, they do. They do, and because of that, they look more advanced.
All right, whatever. It's okay to be wrong. That's fine.
You don't even know what you're talking about. You didn't read these.
I did read these.
I'm sure you looked at the pictures.
I looked at the pretty pictures, and I liked when they used their elemental powers to fight the bad guys.
Okay. All right.
Can we talk about Titan sets? Or what?
Let's do that briefly, and then we got to move into Q&A.
Oh, we're already there. Fair
Yes.
enough. Bohrok, what are they called? Barag?
So
The Barag suck.
Bohrok, the Boxer, and the Exo-Toa.
Exo-Toa is a waste of space and story, but a very cool set. No, seriously, I'm doubling back to that joke. Why does the Exo-Toa exist?
The Exo-Toa exists because it's a cool thing. It looks cool.
Canonically, why does it exist? Weren't they just like robots they used to fight? Like what the Brotherhood used to fight?
The Brotherhood used them as army fodder. They're basically, it's like their tank division.
So why were there 6 just on Motunui?
There is a reason for this that is escaping me.
Loser.
I don't quite recall the story reason that there were 6 of them.
Wow.
But I do agree.
Eljay Johnson doesn't recall something.
All right, I'm gonna look it up then.
Do it.
Okay.
Does anyone here know?
Oh, I have multiple hands.
This is a much better idea. Sorry, what was that?
To prevent intruders.
I mean,
Like a defense force for the Bohrok?
well, but that's the thing though. There's no reason for the Bohrok to put them there. They didn't have access to Exo-Toa. Oh wait, fudge. Hang on. Pterodax was the one that awakened the Bohrok. It would only make sense that he would have access to Exo-Toa and then put them there, so that if the Toamata did make their way down, the Toamata, being dumb idiots, would put the suits of armor on that were designed to work very well against Toa and not allow them to properly function.
Fair enough.
Now that makes a lot of sense now. Alright, fair enough.
We got one more hand raise. We can go. Maybe some more supplementary information.
This is a double question from someone who can proudly say that the Bohrok were the very thing, especially with their different trauma, the very thing which got me totally hooked on BIONICLE. As if a strong first year, you're getting through that already. That said, if you look at the whole idea of an alien race coming out with that shoot things out of their heads, which are oddly clear and transparent, and the heroes go down and fight a bunch of big monstrous queens wearing suits of armor. Doesn't that sound like James Cameron's Aliens and Ridley Scott's, especially when you consider the first Alien, which had a skull underneath a translucent shield? If you look up Alien, you could see where aspects of the Bohrok came from. And especially that ending in which the Toamata donned the exosuits, it's exactly like Ridley donning an exosuit at the end to fight the alien queen.
Yeah, I guess I could kind of see that. That actually makes a lot of sense.
So I have never seen either movie, so you just spoiled them for me.
Oh, like you care. You were planning on watching. You
I very much care. They're the most important films that I've never seen.
Oh my gosh.
That's a very good observation, and it kind of plays into what I was kind of getting at. It's like the Bohrok, like I wish they shared more in common with the Bohrok. That might just be me.
So,
even if they are meant to be like an homage to kind of style of story, I wish there was more visual continuity.
No, there's a lot of visual continuity.
What, in the stubby limbs?
Bohrok? Okay.
In the neck thing?
Bohrok, okay, first of all, yes. The function is remarkably similar to a Bohrok in at least the visual appearance. Bohrok are mostly made out of Bohrok pieces. You had Bohrok shield pieces on the feet, you had Bohrok feet as the feet, you had Bohrok torsos that comprised the torso, you had Bohrok limbs that are the arm pieces, you had Bohrok teeth that were the claws. Most of the Bohrok composition are Bohrok pieces. They look remarkably like Bohrok.
I'll take this L, but I wish they had faceplates.
Okay, amazing.
So the Bohrok are weird, the Exo-Toa is weird, but a cool set.
Yes, the Exo. Well, okay, no. I'm not a big fan of the Exo-Toa, I'm gonna be honest.
Really?
I was remarkably disappointed by it. I didn't realize it was so stiff. I didn't realize it had such little articulation.
It was released in 2002. What did you expect?
I mean, that's fair. I just didn't know that it was so stiff. I didn't really think about it a whole lot. So, but it is a cool idea. I like the look of it. But yes, functionally, 2002, it really only served the purpose of this is an Exo-Toa. Make your Toa look cool. Also, your Toa can't use its powers in the Exo-Toa. So, see ya, sucker.
So what about the Boxer?
The Boxer is it's an Exo-Matoran, essentially. But the Matoran don't need powers. They need bulk.
Bulk from Hero Factor?
Okay, gosh dang, I walked into that one.
Alright. we're starting to get hands up, so you want to maybe just move the Q&A now, and then we'll bring it to a conclusion?
Yes, let's
So
go
I
ahead
pretty
and
much
do
said all I
that.
wanted to say.
So if people have any questions. Yes.
Yes. I was a fan by that time. I think I bought all of them, except for the Boxer, weirdly enough.
You still need to move as a kid?
Yes. I
Was
thought
a
they
jazz
were weird.
guy then. I 2002 is late 2002 is about when I got into Bionicle, so I do remember seeing them on store shelves. It was late 2002 or early 2003. I can't quite recall, but it's when
I mean, your first set was Galak Call, right?
yes.
So it would have
However,
had to be 2003.
not necessarily, because I remember seeing shipments of Bohrok coming in, fresh shipments, and also I lived in California at the time. They always got early releases. I got the Bionicle Stars in November of 2009.
Alright, fair enough.
So yeah, no, I could have easily gotten them in 2002, naturally. Yeah, coming up, anyone who has a question, come on up and grab a comic. You can pick whichever. You can even take that magazine. It's nifty.
The grand prize,
Is the American one?
I don't know.
it's A1.
It's in English, if that helps. I didn't
It has Galador on the cover, if that helps.
Yeah, it's American. I collect the Canadian ones.
Go for it.
Alright, the grand prize has been claimed right out the gate.
There was no grand
Next question.
Hello. Kind of a branch on that question. In 2002, when you bought the pieces, do you have any fun childhood memories of playing with the toys or like how your opinions on the sets changed since you were kids?
I remember I was not smart enough at the tender age of 5 to build the Exo-Toa, so I had to ask my mother for help, and she was like, "This is weirdly complicated. I thought this was Lego. where are the bricks?" And I mean, I don't know. I was just kind of was enjoying the ride, but I think I dropped the Exo-Toa and broke him 30 minutes after I built him, and then
How did you do that?
because I was like playing with it. It was like, zoom. Oh no. I don't think I rebuilt it for like a week after that.
I don't feel too confident about you holding a microphone. No? Oh my gosh.
What about you?
Yeah, so I definitely remember playing with them as a kid. Obviously, they were a ton of fun. That's why I like that head going forward function. That was fantastic. I liked reenacting 2002 Lewa versus Onua. That was always a blast. Stuff like that. My opinions haven't changed radically, I would say. I still really like the Bohrok. I like the Tolmata. I like the gold masks. I like all of those aspects. I didn't have a whole lot of interfacing with a lot of the larger sets. So I never got the Exo-Toa. I didn't get the Bohrok until I did the recap reviews. But I did get the Boxer, and that was really cool.
Fake
Like,
fan.
You broke an Exo-Toa. That's
But
how
I
much-
bought
that's
it.
How much contempt you have for Bionicle.
You're right, but I bought it.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, no problem.
Alright, thank you. Next question.
I just want to clarify, the questions don't have to be specifically related to us, right?
No,
Nope.
no.
Ask whatever.
So this is probably never going to happen because they have license now, they have Transformers. But let's just assume Lego decides, let's bring construction there. Would you want it to be Bionicle or a new one?
For the sake of not having to do any more Bionicle reviews, I would like it to be something new.
I am down for Bionicle, but under very specific circumstances. I don't know. My opinions are so mixed because I would be down to see Bionicle in the current style that Lego's experimenting with, but I feel like they need to make it a little less awkward before they can get there. And I think the odds of the old pieces coming back are slim to none. So I'm just kind of like, what could they make currently that didn't look like trash? And I think they're getting there slowly, but they need more. They need more parts.
In my opinion, construction has returned. It's in those new buildable figures, Marvel figures, so like Venom, Miles Morales, Peter Parker, Iron Man.
Lego set, Venom got that adrenaline in him. It's time to go get him.
Come get a comic. And next question, please. I'm begging you.
If you try to stuff the highs in
Yes.
I'm sorry, what was that?
is that why you're disappointed towards the
Pohatu and an Exo-Toa.
Oh, yeah. If he becomes a ballerina and stands on his toes, then yes, he would function kind of in the Exo-Toa. And that's another reason I'm not a big fan of the Exo-Toa. 2 of the Toa can't properly function without modification in an Exo-Toa. So I hope your favorite is Kopaka, Gali, Liwa, or Tahu, because otherwise, have fun.
My favorite's Voriki, so I'm also good.
Okay, fantastic. Well, what was that? Oh, okay.
Fair enough.
All right, come on up and grab cover.
How do you feel about Victorian ending?
How do I feel about what ending in
The Victorian bill.
Yeah, right. You're right, because it did end in the part with the part.
I don't like the 03 build. So
Really?
sad. Yeah. I get that it's better in like every way. Objectively, there's no argument to make, but I just have the Victorian Bohrok got me into Bionicle, so when it went away, I was very sad. And I don't feel like the new builds ever had as recognizable of like a silhouette as the Victorian did. So I just never clicked with me in the same way.
I kind of agree. I really like the Victorian build. It's remarkably iconic. It has a lot of visual appeal, considering Minogue featured them heavily, the Bohrok animation, stuff like that. I am not a big fan of them as, okay, if I look at them as like a play set, I don't know how much I'm drawn to them, but I'm very biased toward them because obviously I like them a lot, I grew up with them. So in one respect, I'm like, it's fine. In another, I feel like Bionicle not only lost a little bit of its original identity when they switched over to the new build, but also we saw the gigantification of the Matoran builds and Bionicle sets in general, because the Matoran got larger and the Toa had to scale to be shorter. And eventually you ended up with Matoran as tall as our original Toa.
That is true.
So, yeah. Do you want a comic or? Okay.
Fair enough.
That is our MVP for the evening, Helena Mars. Thank you for asking the question.
So I've got a question. How do you feel
With my hands.
about the Bohrok Silver in a very active sense? How do you feel about the alternate market inspirations that came from the Bohrok, such as Neo shifters, potentially around down the line, things like BIONICLE, for example? Just spiritual children's stories. How do you feel about the non-Lego successors to Bohrok?
I never interacted with either of them, so I have zero opinion.
So as the resident Neo Shifters lore expert,
Oh my
the host
gosh.
of my side podcast, NeoCast, I can attest that the Neo Shifters were very instrumental in our time to shaping the person I am today. So when I was a boy, no, I'm kidding. I don't care anything about Neo Shifters. I have no opinion.
Yeah.
Down with Mega. Thank you. Thank you. The Bohrok Val were excellent.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, what's that?
What's a Bionicle? What is a Bionicle?
You know what a Zane is? It's like, tell you what? What a Bionicle is? Oh, or what a Zane is. Do you know what a Zane is?
No, yeah.
Okay, so Zane is a boy that's a robot.
Okay.
And part of him, and if he were a Bionicle, then part of him would be fleshy. That's a Bionicle.
The real
I
answer.
understand everything now, thank you.
The real
You're welcome.
answer. The Bionicle is the biological chronicle, chronicling the story of God King Faber and his long legacy.
Yeah, which I'm very glad you brought that up. We're very happy to announce our new line of NFTs.
Yes.
Starting with our 2002 thumbnail on the market, approximately never, for the low cost of not going to happen.
They are being named NFTTVs.
Yeah, that's what our NFT stands for, not a friggin' thing. Move on.
Alright, so I feel like you guys missed a really obvious question with the Bohrok versus the Bohrok Ball. If you got the Bohrok Ball, which doesn't need a ton to begin with, and has its own AI mechanism, right? Why not just put that in the Bohrok and go chronos together?
See? Just combine it.
Do you remember when Meso at the very beginning was asking me what the point of an Exo-Toa was? Same answer. Sell toys.
They're so pointless. Just give the Bohrok backpacks.
You mentioned you don't see the ASAP thing with Bohrok. Do you have the same problem with the whole serpent thing with the roster? See the same?
Yeah, same issue. Yeah, no, I mean, it's a great point, but
They just should have given the Bohrok
yeah,
backpacks.
gotta sell something. No, come up and grab a comic.
All right, next question.
So, along with the comics, there's also the 2002 animation animations. How do you guys feel about those? There's also famous animations around this far, and unless it's just pulsating.
It can pulsate along. It's like,
Like, I just imagine my brain, like, sitting on the table, and like,
it's great.
love the animations. 2002 animations were fantastic. I am a little bit disappointed that we didn't get to see Oliwa vs. Onua Round 2 animated, but that's okay. Otherwise, they're very enjoyable, but I wouldn't watch them over any of the animations from the novel. But that's just more of a year bias than anything else.
It gave so many iconic, wholesome, and very canon moments,
Don't you dare.
such as Huki X Maku,
Shut your mouth.
and even a little bit of Jala X Holly.
Oh my gosh.
Love is canon.
No, it's
Love
not.
is canon.
No, it's No! Absolutely unacceptable. Barmanga, maybe. In the Matoran universe, no. Next question. But also get a comic. It's like watching a game of Pac-Man, but it's 3D.
All right, what is your question?
My question is, which of the Bohrok from
Which of the 03 Matoran were our favorite?
01 to 03.
01 to 03. Kongu. Easily. But that might also be because he was wearing a Miru and that's the best mask.
Kapura, because he was obviously the great being, and you can't change my mind. He's also just funny. I like him a lot.
Bionicle Revolution. Oh, wait, was that the one that Venom was doing?
Yes. I will never forget Bionicle Revolution in my life. It is the greatest piece of lost community media ever. The eternal struggle of the morality of the hero factories facing off against the brutal viciousness of the Bionicles. Sidorak is my king. We stand Sidorak
No,
here.
we do not.
What was the dialogue in the trailer? I've memorized it by heart. These terrorists, these Bionicles, they still think they have a chance. It was great. May it rest in peace as Finna moves on to do furry stuff or whatever he's doing. I don't know.
I want to go home. Thank you. We were just talking about this morning.
We were. Part of my good research.
The Great Beings made them, obviously enough, but I think that's about all we know. I don't think it would be too much of a long shot to say it's a natural evolution of a Bohrok, because like you got a Bohrok, it's a Bohrok, you dip it in energized protodermis, it becomes Call. Who knows if dipping that in energized protodermis will become a Bohrok, but we don't really know, I don't think.
Functionality-wise, their purpose is just like to command the swarms, right?
Yes, that's
so
correct.
they just needed something like kind of smart and like vaguely Bohrok-like to just kind of call the shots. It would not surprise me if they made the Barag first and then engineered the Matoran to like mimic them, maybe. But that's just my theory. I don't know.
Yeah.
Reasonably, that's all there is to it. I would like to have framed it, and I was talking to Eljay, that the Bohrok Va were just like evolved Av Taraga, and then the Barag were just like an Av Toa. but that is not true, and will never be true. So, that's all I got.
Fair enough.
Come grab a comic. Anybody else? I think we're at, oh, one more question.
I have a follow-up question about the revolution question. Specifically, I was saying talking was Bionicle Revolution Born Again was announced. Will you be down for voice Eljay? Yes or no?
I'm sorry, hold on.
Bionicle Revolution, Born Again. Would you voice Eljay?
I might have to. That's too good of an opportunity. Oh gosh. I hope I have some answer.
I mean, Eljay's kind of a Pohatu super fan.
Guy. It's a hard one. It's either Liwanuva or Levok, the green Bohrok. I have a very obvious bias.
For me, I kind of hate them all. Unironically, except the Bohrok, and they're clone sets, so the Bohrok. The Exo-Toa sucks, the
Do you
Bohrok,
have a favorite color?
white,
Okay.
skeleton themed, yo.
We got
Are you disappointed that they never made Exo-Toa for bigger iterations of the toe, such as the Enemy?
Yes. Think of it, a Toa Mystica that's already a gray mess in a bigger gray mess. It would have been epic.
yeah. Something being in a gray mess is called a Star Wars set.
Wow, the dunking continues, eh?
So, Lego itself kind of went to this like property in this phase around Bohrok came out, where it's maybe like a lot more sense of the system, a lot more like standard, much more kind of specialized pieces like your jack studs or galvanized instead. How do you think it's sort of weird that technically the Bohrok, as good as they are, they're still kind of why you have that sort of thing that apply to them as well? I think there's some kind of irony in that, like really that they're like as low as they are, it's like carrying like all the armor stuff like in there, like a lot of like fans really don't like.
I mean, would you say that the Bohrok necessarily had like more hyper specialized pieces than anything else? Like, because the way I see it, they kind of, like, yeah, you might say that. The torso is built for the Bohrok, the legs, the feet, the head, it almost entirely consisted of Bohrok specific pieces, but they got a lot of mileage in subsequent years.
Yeah.
They used the faceplate in a lot of different ways. I don't even think just in Bionicle.
Not just in Wild, well, I mean, not even just in the years since the year of all the alternate combo models. That they
Well, yeah.
made. Like, they got a great deal
But, like,
of mileage out of those new pieces.
Every time, like, it's weird to me, but like I remember the Bohrok faceplates came back in Hero Factory a full like 8 years later as weird stuff, like armor for a Titan or like a motorcycle. So I don't know, like they can do basically whatever. I never saw the torso pieces again though, to my knowledge.
No, I don't think the torso parts came back.
Oh, yeah, the buckets. Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting question about specialization, but they avoid it well enough, I think.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, right now, I just got a bit of disassociation for a second there, because he said 8 years. And it occurs to me that we're talking about Bionicle and Hero Factory about the same as we did. I mean, obviously, they aren't the same conversations all the time, but we're talking about them with the same level of interest and thoroughness as we did when it had been 8 years since.
We're getting old.
And like Bionicle came out 20 years ago, 2002 came out 20 years ago, Hero Factory came out
12 years ago.
Jesus. It's disgusting. So
Can I get one more show of hands before we end this? Who liked Hero Factory?
I don't know, that's a great deal of people.
You make me happy. Thank you.
That's good. All right,
Sure.
one more.
Can we talk about the fact that there was not only like not a
It's a bit weird. You
Yeah,
know?
I never cared about the album because I didn't listen to a whole lot of like music online or like buy albums or CDs or whatnot, and I didn't know who Rob Zombie was. I know he's a musician.
I know he's a zombie.
I know. Yeah, there were like a bunch of people, so it never mattered to me. Things kind of fell through. Like BIONICLE 2001 was supposed to have a film. They were supposed to have like multiple video games.
Most things fell through, let's be honest.
So seeing that it fell through was like, that's fine. And that is the way of things.
It's kind of par for the course. I wish we'd gotten it though, it would have been cool.
Yeah, I suppose.
LJ, I have beef with you before we end.
Oh gosh.
I just took a look at these comics for like the first time. Why is there a 2005 comic?
I said there was a myriad of comics.
Maranui in the Valley of the Maze.
Yes, there were multiple different years of comics. It wasn't just 2002.
Would it have killed you to be on brand?
And there were some earlier. And also, I told you, thank you, Connor. Thank you, he's holding up a 2002 comic.
All right.
I told you, I relegated all the 02 comics to be a prize for the next event.
All right.
My goodness.
I guess a good place to close. Where does 2002 rank in your favorite years?
It's one of my favorites.
Really?
Yes.
Top 5? Top 3?
Maybe top 5, perhaps. It's definitely front half rather than back half. I do enjoy it a lot. Might be top 6, I don't know.
It's in my bottom 3.
Oh my gosh.
Because I hate, like, I don't know, when I look at it in aggregate, I'm like, okay, the story is simple. I don't like the Nuva. I don't like the Va, contrary to my memes. They're only okay.
Not much like.
I don't like the Exo-Toa, story or set. The Bohrok are weird. I don't know if I already mentioned that. The Boxor is kind of awkward. He doesn't really even sit in it. Like, the art is pretty, and the Bohrok are cool. But the Bohrok are really cool, so it does hold it a lot. But I'm a critic. So,
That's fair. No, I get it.
personally speaking.
Well, in that case, want to do this again next year for 20 years of 2003 and the 20th anniversary of Mask of Light?
Now that I would have a lot to say about.
Yes, there's a lot of interesting things to talk about.
03. What a year. Yeah, it sounds like fun to me.
All right, cool.
Thank you guys for coming out. It was very enjoyable. It was cool seeing all of you, hearing your questions, seeing a lot of familiar faces. And we thank you all for coming. I hope you enjoy the rest of Brickfair Virginia.
Thank you.
Without further ado.
Coming up in Graphic Comics.
Yeah, I am Meso.
I'm Eljay.
And recording live from Brickfair, this was Knack and Jet.